Paranormal Activity 3. Now, Paranormal Activity 3 focuses on Katie and Christy in their childhood days back in 1988 as they begin to realize that there's some sort of entity in their house. They live with their mother and father, and the father begins to film the activity that's supposed to be happening throughout the night. This is a prequel to Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. Now, I'm a huge fan of this franchise, and I just had high expectations for this, and man, did I love this movie. This movie, the activity was terrific. It didn't focus on those big bangs and loud noises as to 1 and 2 did. This one had, a lot of noises, but it had more visual activity. It had a good amount of creepy moments. The one thing that I found amazing in this film was the camera angles. They took the camera angles to a different level in this movie. They put a camera on top of a rotating fan so it would move back and forth in a slow motion. So it would give you that suspense, not knowing what's going to end up on this side or what's going to be on this side. It kept you at the edge of your seat. It was very suspenseful and thrilling. Just the fact that you don't know what's going to end up on the other side of that camera was just amazing because it really kept you on the edge of your seat. And I thought that was amazing how he did that, putting on a rotating fan. Now, when I first saw the first Paranormal Activity movie, and they did mention that, they were little kids and this all started out when they were little kids, I was dying to see a film where they would focus on their childhood. And when I heard that they announced Paranormal Activity 3 is going back to their childhood, I was thrilled. I could not wait for this to happen, but the only downside of it was, okay, yeah, they'll go back to their childhood, but they're going to have 2 little kid actors playing them, and normally could be a flaw, just because of how kids are in movies sometimes. No, not a chance. Well, let me tell you this. These kids had terrific performances. Not once you found them annoying. You wanted to see them more on the screen because you cared for them. You felt creeped out by sometimes the way they spoke and their dialogue and everything like that. And I thought that was great. And it's just, the feeling and the atmosphere in this film is just very creepy. By far, it's the scariest one out of 3. Now, the downside of it is that some of the activity was recycled material from the previous films. I mean, it's not completely the same, but you can tell that they're just reusing it and slightly putting some changes to it. And I was a little disappointed by that, but it still fit the movie well, and it put a lot of great scary moments together really nicely. Now, I don't know if anyone's seen the featurettes or the TV spots of this film, and at the end of those featurettes and TV spots, they mention the last 15 minutes will mess you up for life. Let me just say, that is true. Well, maybe not for life, but the last half hour, 15 minutes is completely disturbing and insane. It fits everything together nicely. I was just in complete shock of what I was seeing. I thought it was very scary towards the end, and just what they did was just very creepy, and it just sent chills up and down your spine just from what you were watching. And it's definitely an insane moment. But I do have to warn you, though, that the trailer is very misleading. Most of the scenes you see from the trailer are not in the film. And now I was a little disappointed on that because some of the scenes in the trailer I really wanted to see in the actual film. So I'm hoping that when this comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, they release an extended version of all the scenes that they cut out, because I really like to see what actually happened. Overall, I thought this was a terrific film. I thought it is the best out of the series, and they set it up for another one, which I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping there's a 4th one, but I hope that if there is a 4th one, they do it right. If there isn't a 4th one, I'm going to be very disappointed, but let me just tell you this, guys, the ending is incredible. It's the one part in the film where I just absolutely loved and was freaked out by. So I highly recommend this film to anyone who is a fan of this franchise. If you've never seen the previous 2 films, you're going to be you're gonna be lost in this going into the 3rd one without knowing what happened in the beginning, or not the beginning, but the previous 2 films. So I recommend going back and checking those out first. I know a lot of people think these movies are awful and dumb, but in my opinion, I think they're amazing because it's an actual horror movie that's made in this time period that actually scares me. Most of these horror movies we get are remakes, and they just fall flat on all terms and all levels. But there's something about these Paranormal Activity movies that are very unique, and they really get to me, and I have a lot of fun watching them, and they're very entertaining, and it's just things you don't see that often these days. And that's what I really like about them, and that's why I love the Paranormal Activity franchise. So guys, that's my review of Paranormal Activity 3. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys get the opportunity to see it. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. Until next time, guys, I'm the Movie Guy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment right down below, and I will see you guys Tuesday.